Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Rideshare Rodeo Roundtable. Before I introduce the panelists tonight, Kim made a good point, so I'm going to put it out there right away that we are simulcasting on all of our channels. So that does lead to a little confusion. So we're going to try something new tonight. We're going to try and take, as we go through each topic, we're going to try and like star the comments that are related to that and address them after we finish with that before we move into the next one. See if that works. We'll say hi to everybody first, and then kind of we'll only really be approaching the comments unless we're doing it in the comment field. It's just the way StreamYard works. And I'll try and, that way if Kim and I star them, like when we end a topic, I can see the starred ones and I can put them up on the screen. We can address them all. So please make sure that you're commenting and all that. There's a whole craziness with this that, like, if I type in right now, hi everybody, and I don't make an adjustment that I can make, but it's just crazy that it'll come as Kim saying it, I'm saying it's really just crazy. We want to do the multi-stream. We want to get it to all the channels and get more eyes on it. And so we'll try this because I think last week was a really great episode. We actually ended up kind of going off topic a few different times. So, and I don't know. I think that even the comments were okay, but the only downside we had afterwards was, gosh, we just got to figure out these comments. But it's not us; it's StreamYard that needs to figure out the comments. So with that said, let me introduce this panel. We got Kim's Side Money Plans. We got Mr. Yost Malone. We got Cheyenne Gig Work Mama. Wow, me being in this corner works well. I just got all of them on the first one.
I'm telling you, it's freaking me out.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's freaking Kim out that I musical weird. Chair myself.
I'm not used to it.
I don't think she knew that yesterday or last week I was where Cheyenne is.
Really?
Yost and I were on the bottom last week. We were the bottom feeders.
We're chilling.
I didn't notice that.
I don't know. For some reason, this week this is kind of freaking me out. I don't know.
Maybe it's the bright color. I don't know. I don't know.
Charlie Brown.
So let me see what's up, and let me say hi to everybody so that we can get into this. What's up, Pedro? We're gonna talk about your comment in just a second because we ain't hating. But hold on. What's up, Red? How you doing? What's up, Brian? What's up, Traveler? What's up, Gary? Quit talking about me turning tricks, Gary. What's up, Thomas? And what's up, Bubba Sue? And what's up, Gigan? What's up, Rideshare Rick? Saw Rick in another live I did today too. I feel like I hadn't seen Rick in a minute until that. I'm glad he popped his head back out. So we get worried about some of you people when you are missing for a little bit. Just know that. Just know that.
Aren't
what's
we
up,
all
Traveler?
family at this point?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So and then did I get everybody? What's up, Christopher Taylor? And what's up, Donna? How are you? And what's up, Nova? What's up, Ellen? How are you? And if I missed anybody, sorry, I did my best. Before I even get into the topics, I know we talked about it last week, but I need to say this because people sent me articles. One was from the New York Times. One was from our episode last week about schools requiring that you do financial aid before you graduate. So one was from the New York Times, two were from other papers. People were like, no, dude, like, and it wasn't like them trying to be more knowledgeable. They were saying that, hey, after I watched you guys on the episode, I went and looked and hey, this is everywhere. And it is.
That's crazy.
Like, it's not everywhere, but it's in more states than it's not in. And it's like only been around for a year or two. Just letting you guys know that thing we thought was maybe like is that just in your state? Like, nope, it's all over. And I mean, these were people that I email with quite a bit. What's up, Cody? I see you. So that said, okay, so I don't know. Some of these are going to be pretty interesting. I'm glad Nova's in here because we're going to be talking about a little bit of Virginia too. So this was today. Again, we'll roll through it so you guys can like hear how it plays out. But the U.S. House panel approves the repeal of Biden's independent contractor rule. Super important stuff going on. The California versus Olson case finally happened yesterday, and all of the results aren't out yet. I sent them to Kim because I saw Kim Cavan tweeted it out, and she said it starts in an hour. And like Kim had this, and they're both in New Jersey too, but 2 New Jersey Kims. But on Twitter, the other Kim who posted it was like, this is in an hour. And that's what Kim said too. Like it was weird. This is like every one of the 9th District Court judges has to be there for this. And it's very hard to pull them together. And it was just kind of like, here it is. It's happening. Like, wait, what?
And it was late in the afternoon too. Like it was like 3. What was it? 3? No, it was what, 4 o'clock my time. So it still would have been like 1 in the afternoon. So I thought that was really random time.
Well,
at least for me.
Because for the case it was, you have to everybody has to show up for that one. And that's like unheard of. You can't get all of the people there. But they did. And I'm still waiting to see how it really played out. It basically was to fight. There was a few fights going on. If you guys are familiar, AB5, independent truckers in California got an exemption, a temporary exemption from AB5, and for the pandemic, and then for afterwards. And they had one in a Dynamex decision a couple of years prior to, and that's what led to AB5, to be honest. And then now they're looking at pulling that on them. Now that we're not in a pandemic and they're not first, now they're like, okay, now you guys have to obey the law. Well, the law is stupid. I mean, what? I can't be an independent contractor as a trucker. So the truckers are now hoping on this Uber Postmates, which is actually the Flex Association case, the Flex Association is actually going after to kill AB5 instead of trying to fight Prop 22 anymore. And they're getting the support of the truckers now too. So there's a whole big mess going on everywhere. And we will get into some of that. But so the House got together. Again, we still have an unconfirmed Julie Su, who everybody I know is beyond. I mean, they're at a point, they're not just questioning her ability to be there and to make any decision, more or less a change in the way labor works in this country. But they're working, both sides, it's bipartisan, are working to get her out of there. And Biden is demanding she stays. This is, again, it's not a political statement about Biden. I'm just saying he's demanding she stays. And both sides of the aisle are starting to get to the point of this. She's bugging us. We won't confirm her. We haven't. She's not going to get confirmed. So there was a theory about her staying in until the election, see if she can just lame duck through. But looks like both sides want her out. So that could be a good thing. But the House on Thursday advanced a proposal to repeal a Biden administration rule heavily criticized by trade groups, which makes it more difficult for companies to treat workers as independent contractors rather than employees. The House Committee on Education and Workforce approved the resolution in a 21-13 vote, making it eligible for a vote for the full House. So it was led by Senator Bill Cassidy, who's from Louisiana. But here's the thing: even if it passes both houses of Congress, so if it gets through the House and the Senate, the way that this Reuters article is they will, the Republicans, and in this case, again, I'm talking about Republicans for our working rights, labor rights, because they are the ones on our side here. So you need to be very careful about this. But even if the 2/3 majority can happen between the two houses, which they actually think they have, I mean, even if that can happen, they said it's not going to matter because they already have a promise from President Joe Biden that he will veto it. So even if the American people and our elected representatives want this, Joe Biden has said, if you push this through both, I'm going to veto it. First of all, what I'm trying to point out here, in case you guys are missing a big point, is no sitting president should ever say what he'll do if. You're supposed to respond to things as they happen, not if you do this. I mean, it's basically a threat, because behind that threat is I won't work with you. I won't get you funding. I'm not going to do anything for you. And it's just kind of weird, because it's like everybody understands how stupid this is, and there's now people looking into AB5 and going, you killed millions of careers, and you said you were going to create all these jobs that even the people with careers didn't want, but you didn't create any jobs. We've talked about this so many times. None. So you want to do that to the whole country. So regardless, it's happening. There was one other stupid comment in here I wanted to see that here it is. So Senator Representative Robert Scott of Virginia said he was speaking about this, and people were saying that they want to be independent contractors, and he says, when you say it's popular, this is a quote, when you say it's popular to become independent contractors, I don't know how popular it is to give away your right to minimum wage, overtime, and your other rights. Come on, man. I mean, again, this gets to that point of calling us stupid. That's like saying, like, listen, guys, I don't think you understand. No, I understand. No, I just didn't want to be rude. You don't understand. Here's how it is. Like, don't force feed me something. I know what the reality is.
It's crazy.
I know what I'm doing. I mean, it's just crazy to me to read comments like this. Like, you think it's great to be an independent contractor, but you realize you're giving your right away to minimum wage? No, I'm not, because if I want to quit, minimum wage is minimum wage. That's the minimum anybody can pay me, and I can go out and get a job doing it. So what are you talking about? I mean, if anything, he should be saying, listen, we need to double minimum wage, or we need to 1.5 times minimum wage to get people to some of the people who are in these hybrid independent contractor roles to start fulfilling jobs. But I just don't think they like the way that we're all finding our own ways to work. They never have. I mean, because let's be honest, they want their hand in the cookie jar, and that's what
because they
pisses
can't
them off.
control you.
Yeah.
But it's always about dollars and cents, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
that's what it all usually boils down to, is how much money can we get out of whatever's going on.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a couple things here. Really, I'm gonna
I already started 2 of them.
Yeah, I saw one from Brian below it, so I was just trying to see if there's any others related before we move on. Again, guys, you're thank you, Bordura. Yes, it is free, and yes, smash that like button on all of our channels. Again, just to confuse you.
I think it's a money grab. Like, our minimum wage is atrocious. It hasn't gone with inflation in years. I don't know how it is in Canada, but it's atrocious here in the States. And it's as bad. I mean, Congress works on what they want to work on, and these representatives aren't for us at all. For somebody who's on TikTok a lot, and he did that ban, and they literally passed it within like a day, just like they passed the defense bills. They do what they want. They're not for us. They're all getting paid. And then it's actually about the government shutdown. If you watch the news, it's about to be a partial shutdown that's going to happen this weekend unless they get a budget together. And it doesn't affect them. They still get paid.
Yeah. No, I mean...
What? Oh, yeah, yeah, our government...
Like a government shutdown just means they don't have to work.
Yeah, like a government shutdown means like the people who like Congress, all of them still get paid. But like other services, they just completely cut it off and they don't get paid. They're furloughed automatically.
But I thought the shutdown was only like when it was COVID or whatever, and things were going.
No.
We threaten to shut down every 5 minutes.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's like once a quarter that they threaten to shut the government down.
Like, they threaten a shutdown on a Thursday because it's gonna be sunny on Friday.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's usually has to do with some kind of budget they can't agree on. Like, we can't agree on a budget, so we're gonna shut everything down. It's stupid.
So, Thomas is saying if it passes, it's a disaster waiting to happen. What are we talking about? Because it has passed. It's already law. The DOL already ruled. It's already law that they have the path. They just now need to follow it. And I'm going to give you an example. I had somebody leave a comment. I think it might have even been on last week's roundtable saying, or maybe it was on 13 minutes or something, but they said that, the reason that we do need unions or something was, and I don't mind, I always engage those comments very nicely and I like to hear people's perspectives, but it was like, do you realize that we don't make minimum wage? And I'm thinking, of course I do, because I'm an independent contractor. But I went a step further and I said, look, I didn't even ask what state he was in. I said, look, let me give you an example. I said the federal minimum wage, which really no state uses, but is $7.25. Okay. Hasn't moved much in years. The federal minimum wage for tipped positions is $2.13. And if you don't make $7 in an hour on tip between the 213 and your tips, quit. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't make that, then they have to pay you the difference and make sure they're paying you the $7.25.
If that's happening, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're working at Applebee's in the outskirts. Move to a real bar. I guess my point is like the person was like, do you know we're not making minimum wage? And my answer was, do you know nobody who works for tips makes minimum wage?
How is minimum wage allowed to be, like, granted, okay, I get it. There's some places that, because I have friends in the States, so I see whenever they post like their houses and I'm like, wait, you can get a house like that for that cheap? A house like that here would be like $1 million, $2 million easily. But how is it that your minimum wage is that low? Like,
no, it's not. I mean, no state is using the federal minimum.
Yeah, but even
wages,
if they're not using the federal,
you can't go under it. No state can go under it. It's a guideline.
But even if they're not using the federal, as Yo said, like your minimum wage is not something that's like $20 an hour.
No,
how is someone, let's say, in New York City?
But like, okay, I don't.
Well, heck, in New Jersey, we're one of the most expensive states to live in.
I think Alabama uses the federal minimum wage, so they actually use $7.25. But there's no job in Alabama that pays you $7.25. Like they have it in place for the language, but everybody's paying you $14.15 an hour.
Okay.
But Alabama,
yeah, but Gary, I don't think like they're not saying now hiring $7.25.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I would hope not.
Like they have
Let's hope not, but
it's in their language of their states, but they're not advertising it like, hey, you can make $7.25 here.
Oh my goodness.
Run.
$15 right there.
You're making some run as far away as you can.
But then to also add to the answer for Shania, our minimum wages aren't that high in any state. Like, it's not
Mine
like,
is $15.25, and I'm one of the highest living states there are. So
you can't live on that in New Jersey.
There's no way. I'll be honest. I would be shocked if someone can live on $15.25 in New Jersey.
Yost, did you just say $7.25?
Yeah, ours is like it's the
one. But Yost, if you go out and apply for 5 jobs, basic entry level jobs tomorrow,
you're right though. You're not going to make that, but they may pay
10.
But you're still not going to. I mean, you're still not going to live off of that.
What is 10?
$10 an hour. Like,
I know, but what is 10? Like that's nothing.
Nothing. It's trash. Like it's all trash. Every single bit of it's trash. Which is why I do gig work. Because I would be working somewhere making $10 an hour right now. I'm like, that's horrible. And then they tax the crap out of you. And
I hate to say you can do better at McDonald's, but you can do better at McDonald's.
You could.
Seriously.
Say it, but I'm gonna say it.
I'm gonna say it. You can do better at McDonald's. Go work at McDonald's. You can do 10 times better.
So, Gary, are we talking about the DOL rule change?
McDonald's, shoot.
I can tell you right now. Here, hold on. I don't know if we got to the other changes that I think we did last week, but we already knew that in Massachusetts and New Jersey, you cannot be a freelance or self-employed school tutor anymore. You need to be a W-2 tutor. So if you are a tutor who works, if you're a teacher who freelances doing tutor work, which a lot of them do, that's now illegal. You can't do that. what was there was another addition to Kim's state, and then there's a list that Kim Cavan's starting. It's growing pretty quick, so we'll have it next week. But in Kim's state, they did. Where did I put it? Well, maybe right here. Yeah, so in Kim's state, they also did golf teachers, caddies, and fitness instructors.
That one surprises me.
So if you own a yoga studio, you now have to be a W-2 of your yoga studio, or you're breaking the law.
That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I'm surprised they went after caddies, depending on just based off of Trump International and all of the famous golf courses New Jersey has and all the elite golf clubs. I'm shocked that actually went through.
Well, if you remember, one of the second time I had Kim Cavan on the podcast was right after you guys tried to push an exemption before any laws went in place for caddies only. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you guys had this thing where you're like, they need to be exempt from what? From this law that's coming in a couple of years. What?
Yeah.
And Kim went into that, and Kim, not this Kim, but Kim Cavan went into that meeting and she filibustered. She talked for 3 hours. I love Kim. Both Kims, but Kim Cavan's just hilarious. And she's smart enough to do it. She wasn't just babbling. She can spit facts out for 3 hours. And I guess filibustering's allowed where you are. And I guess they pulled the plug on her though. And that's illegal. They were like, okay, you've had your moment.
Oh, wow.
Well, you're not allowed to
I just remember
that.
us having a whole conversation about it because I used to, in my teenage years, I was a caddy. I was a golf caddy.
Yeah. I mean,
I made some darn good money and tips as a teenager.
Look, so how long do they have to actually put this in place? Because, whenever something's official, then they usually give you a grace period. Well, here, they usually give you a grace period. Do you guys have a grace period? All these fitness instructors, let's say, now they need to be employees. So
it's kind of like the minimum wage thing. The federal government that's a law now. The DOL has passed. It's a law that you have to go through a 6-factor test. Actually, Karen Anderson corrected that and said, no matter what you read, there's a 7th factor called other. And it's a case-by-case basis. You can't pass it. It's the same as the ABC test. And they actually have the ability to judge one person to the next. So if Cheyenne, if you went in and you're like, I'm a gig worker, I want to stay one and be independent, they could rule in the same state, okay, you can be one. I could go in right after you and they're like, you can't be one. They're not allowing precedents to be set. So the other thing now is that the states need to go along with it though. So Kim's state is going along with some of these.
This
let me put it this way. Kim Cavan is making a list. I don't know. She might even have it up on fightforfreelancers.com, you guys. She told me she was going to put it up over the weekend, but I've been watching it on Twitter and I always chat and text with Kim and whatnot. And she's got 5 states and, I'd say between all the 5 states, probably 22 professions gone. Now we know in California, 608 were eliminated. So, I mean, it's not a lot yet, but you're asking how long to take to roll it out. That's already rolled out. It's how fast does a state want to eliminate a position? Let's say that somebody, trying to think of a good independent contractor role that also is a W-2 role. And I'm trying to think of a scenario where the W-2 role is unable to fill positions right now. But there's independent contractors going, I love doing it this way. They're going to try and destroy that so that you have to go over and fill the positions.
Wow.
That's what they did with AB5.
But it's going to destroy companies too. It's not just, filling positions. It's literally if companies have to go and spend all this money on an additional person and benefits and everything else that comes with employee, a lot of these companies aren't going to last.
And already the same thing is happening on a national level that happened in California to freelance writers. Now, Kim Cavan is a freelance writer. That's why she's all over this. So She writes for like 10 news outlets. And big ones, and she writes for magazines. She actually does, when her like passion before all of this and having to read all this legislation was writing books on pets. Kim Cavan has a bunch of published books on pets.
Wow. That's awesome.
Pretty cool. But she's had to step away from her love to fight this. And what has now happened is, even without the states saying exactly what's going on, it's the same way that everybody said it about AB5 with writers. They immediately, within a half a second, became toxic. And nobody wants to touch them, because even like, let's say that Kim, I know Kim works, she writes for the Washington Post. She writes for the Chicago Tribune. She writes for the Miami Herald. She writes occasionally for the Denver Post. So now all of these different publications not in her state of New Jersey are saying, wait, we heard about this new law. I don't think we're supposed to work with you. Like, they're afraid because the fines are so high.
Whoa. So,
and again, she's not sitting there going, no, you're fine to work with me. She is actually being honest and saying, yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out. So I understand where you're coming from. But these are people that she's worked with for 15 years.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, like, again, they haven't done anything to the writers yet, but that's enough already that they've scared the companies to not work with them. So laws will be passed, but there's also a fear thing that happened with California, and it really got pretty bad. CNN is going to tell you the Korea. Yeah, watching CNN is, I don't know if I ever told you, and I'll tell you real quick, the CNN story. CNN was doing a report on something in Iraq or Afghanistan or something. And they were saying that they were showing a clip. They didn't correct it live, but they corrected. This is about a year and a half ago. They corrected it after the fact, like 2 days later, after a bunch of people had already called them out, and they were kind of being like, no, that wasn't true. But they were supposed to be filming this, like this war that was happening in Iraq. And what they ended up filming was in Kentucky, at where they make bullet bourbon. I guess where they make bullet bourbon, they do this thing where they invite all these people at night and they go off in this field and shoot. And they showed that clip and said they're battling in Iraq.
Oh my goodness.
And that's just one example. I mean, like, CNN they all have their bads, but CNN is just the worst. I mean,
that's crazy.
And yeah, I mean, the other thing too, guys, and I should say this more often, go look for yourself. Do your own investigation. When you see a CNN article saying we've created millions of jobs, just go type in Google, where were millions of jobs created? And you'll see the result says nowhere. There were no jobs created. And there you go. I mean, it's not like, you might have to dive a little deeper, but it's not like you can't do this research and find out they're lying. People just don't. People just take them for their word, even at this point. Minimum wage and PAs. Yep. A lot of these jobs are part-time gigs and not careers. Right. But see, therein lies a whole nother problem too, Brian, because with the way that they're moving this, you having to be a W-2, you would now have to coordinate with your other W-2 to work this, even part-time. Because it's not going to be just turn on app. I know everybody thinks it's going to be like, and again, who knows? We're hoping that it gets shot down. Kim Cavan's suing the Department of Labor with 3 other writers in the Georgia State Court. There's other people with lawsuits. But a lot of, like Lou and Mary were telling me, if it hits us, we're not going to fight it, and we're done. We'll just go back to our W-2s.
I think a lot of people would have the same mentality.
Right, but like they don't even want to. And right now, if you know Lou and Mary, they have 2 kids that are in their freshman year of college. It's very expensive, and they go to, like, one goes to Wisconsin, one goes to some New York's upstate school. So I mean, they're paying for 2 colleges too. So they actually need the money, but they said they won't bother. They're just like, See, and I think I know we don't all have I'm not saying protest or whatever, but we got to find means to do things because there's a lot of noise being made. So there is it seems like there's a path to overturn a lot of this. It's just, is everybody going to jump in or not? That's the bottom line. Are people going to make some effort? And I'm not, it doesn't have to be old school ways. Like, think outside the box. We started doing those video testimonials. Mike's been getting a ton of feedback from Congress. He took it to Congress last Thursday or last Friday, and they were stoked. They had not seen the video testimonials yet, and they were stoked by all of this. So, and then we got the truckers doing it next. So we got that going on. Now, if Nova's still in here, DoorDash is testing drone delivery in Virginia. But it gets better. It gets better. It's the same one that Gary and I and Kim, we all talked about on the roundtable that was in Australia. Same company. But they're working with, it's Alphabet's Wing and it's DoorDash, and they're working with Wendy's.
Really?
Seriously? I can just see a nightmare.
Yost, you're on mute.
Because I said either gonna not work or be surge priced.
A soupy frosty coming your way.
Well, I was just blown away because like Wendy's is the one, like, I know we all have our things. Oh, I don't like McDonald's in my market. Oh, I love mine. We all have our own ways, but we all pretty much hate Wendy's.
Yeah.
Wendy's is a nightmare attack. Like, that's like, dude, that's like the DMV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wait at Wendy's. It's annoying.
Everybody does.
But I get a lot of orders from Wendy's, and that's the annoying part because it's right here. It's right next to my house. So sometimes if I get it from home, then I just take longer to leave. But yeah.
Gary, if they went with Popeyes, they might have cockroaches inside the bag. So I don't know.
I know. I was just, I'll never, ever, ever forget that now. Like, I'll never. Yeah. Yeah. Do you eat at Popeyes? Because if you do, I won't tell you.
Please don't.
So we don't have a Popeyes here, but like whenever we go out of town, like especially in Ontario, we stop at Popeyes. Fine.
Just don't go to the ones in Detroit.
Oh no,
and maybe other ones too, but definitely
I said ever since I saw that video, even though I'm in New Jersey, I still have never stepped foot in a Popeyes ever since that video. Ever.
Is it that bad? No,
there was a video of a DoorDash driver.
We'll send it to you.
Yeah, but long story short, DoorDash driver picking up an order saw cockroaches like climbing on the counter and over straws, and like they were like, it was infested, literally infested. Ew. And it was like going into the bag she was going to pick up. So she called DoorDash, and DoorDash said, "Can you deliver it anyway?"
They didn't ask. Remember, they were like, "Well, you still have to deliver it." But she was even pointing out that one of the employees there took off her shoe and just started smacking him on the floor.
That's still open.
But here's the kicker. We did that story, but a year before it happened at a different Popeyes in Detroit as well. Same story.
That's disgusting.
I'm sure you can find some other restaurants. Popeyes is not the only one. I'm a Popeyes defender. I'm a Popeyes.
So what's the other one?
All of them. There's gonna be some restaurants in some markets. I used to work at Waffle House. Some of them were clean, some of them were junk. I don't know if you guys they don't have Waffle House in the Northeast, but I think they have one in Denver. But
I mean, at least they could deep fry them.
Extra protein.
They always say extra protein.
The extra crunch to your fried chicken.
But here was the kicker that Kim. I know Kim remembers this, but she didn't mention was that the DoorDash person literally did take the bag. First of all, gross. No way.
That's nasty.
I would call the customer and I'd send some pictures and be like, there's roaches everywhere. I would be amazed if you want this food. I'm throwing it away because I don't want it in my car. Bottom line.
Because that's the thing. What if there's like roaches in the bag and now they're in her car?
I'm assuming from the video, there were. Again, you haven't seen it yet, and I'm guessing Yost didn't either. So it's gross.
We'll have to send it to them.
Now,
and the employees are working. Like they're
That's
just working with cockroaches everywhere.
Why would you do that? Number one.
Why is the restaurant still open?
Have you guys seen some of these people's cars that deliver in DoorDash?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
They're
I
bad.
got one better. Have you ever like walked out to like somebody's house and like from the outside you're like, oh, can you imagine what's on the inside?
Yep.
I had one and it was very hard, but I had to be the nicest ever because it was this super sweet old lady, but you could tell she's a hoarder. Yeah. I was like, oh, how is your day going? Like, oh man. She's like, just rest it here on the cart. And I'm like, in the house? Like, what? Yeah.
Yeah. But so to follow up with that, they're testing this in Virginia. And then after that, there is an article in Supermarket News. Could DoorDash could DoorDash's drone delivery pilot program expand to groceries?
Groceries?
Imagine having people order like 100 items on DoorDash to have it like drone.
I would right away order 100 cases of water.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Can you imagine all these drones like descending onto your house?
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid they drop one.
I would, well, they would, because I would just be sitting in a lawn chair on the front yard with a shotgun. Just like, I'm not dealing with this crap. Like, I'll even tell the cop that, like, dude, I'm over 50, so I'm not playing this PC crap. I'm not going to do this.
Broken eggs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, is that they're bringing it here from the Australia thing. Gary has his app in Australia. I wonder, Gary, have you heard anything from your Australia people on how the Wing DoorDash merger thing with this went? Because I'm imagining they think it went semi well if they're bringing it here. Because I mean, I remember we were talking about it. It's like got this weird like leather bag, and they just drop line it down, and then you pull all of your stuff out, but it doesn't hold much. And we were, I remember I was saying, like, what about all the mosquitoes and all the crap that hits it? Or birds chasing it because they smell McDonald's fries, and they're like, I don't have to go to the ground to get this. I can just get it right here.
Now, how fast are these drones going?
I think I don't see it here, but Gary can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was set up to 70 miles an hour.
Oh, wow. That's going to be.
I don't know, man. I really think this is a fail. I'm surprised they're bringing it here. But again, is it another thing about, is it just, maybe it's just a threat to DoorDashers? You better like this program because that thing's going to take your job. And you're like, no, that thing's not taking my job. That thing's stupid. And I mean, like hopefully Nova, if you're in here or anybody else in Virginia, please order one of these. Like, I really want to know. And then tell them they forgot the ketchup and make them send that back.
Just real quick. Thank you, Thomas. And I'll take the Dr. Pepper without the Popeyes. Thank you.
Yeah. We won't send it to you. Don't ever watch the video. It's bad.
It's so funny because I was reading this and it says they have creeps. I'm like, yeah, IHOP does have creeps. And she meant creeps, but I'm like, they have creeps too.
I love crepes.
I do too, but I was reading it. I'm like, yeah, IHOP does have some.
Yeah, they do have crepes. Yep.
I've only been to IHOP twice in my life.
You're not missing much. Timmy's is way better.
I didn't understand why they have why is it that you guys always have like that big chunk of butter that you put on top of your pancakes? And how do people eat that many pancakes?
We put butter on everything.
We put butter on everything.
I was trying to think, what's that weird thing? You guys do some really weird stuff.
Bag milk.
What do we do?
Bag milk is weird.
No. Okay, what's wrong with bag milk?
Everything.
What's bag milk?
You don't know what bag milk is?
No.
Explain it.
What?
So you can buy milk in the cartons, right? So like, you know, a 250 milliliter or whatever, or a liter, a 4 liter, but no, a 3 liter. But when it comes to a 4 liter, that's when it's in the bag. So it's 3 bags in a
Like,
pack. Let me see.
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand.
And then you take out the bag
full of milk.
It's
yes.
in a bag,
And then you take out the bag and you like chop off the little corner, and that's what you use. Hold on.
Wait,
Bag
really?
milk.
Because it's delicious, really?
I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it.
I don't. I know what it is, and I don't get it.
Granted, I don't drink cow's milk, right? But it looks like this.
It's like milk, literally.
I'm not going to tell you what that honestly looks like.
Oh, I thought of what it was. I thought of what it was. You guys put mayonnaise on your fries. That's gross.
Okay, no, that's disgusting. I don't eat mayonnaise. But
okay,
that's
but your country does. They think that's cool.
Ketchup chips is disgusting.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
See, that's how you get a Canadian upset.
I'd rather have butter on my pancakes.
I cannot
than mayonnaise on my fries.
Ketchup chips? Don't even give me now. The
I'm envisioning like going to like, you know, like when you do like a pickup at Applebee's, and sometimes they like, or even Chick-fil-A, and like they have like those gallon bags that they pour like the lemonade in. Like that's what I'm
exactly
picturing with like milk.
Yeah,
is that right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, and then you put it in this little like container thing so that you can pour it.
Okay, that's just weird.
Doesn't that look like a 1970s like what you made lemonade? Your grandma would make lemonade in.
I'm gonna text Cheyenne what it actually looks like, because only she's gonna get it. Hold on.
Oh, I got what. I finally got it. I got it. That's hilarious.
I do think I know what you're gonna text.
I know what you got. I put two.
But yes, that's bag milk. But you can't talk about ketchup chips. I'm sorry. I draw the line there.
Okay, y'all do have all dressed chips there from Ruffles, which are really delicious.
Yes, we do.
And y'all have better Fagos up there too as well.
So we do have Ruffle chips, obviously. The all dressed, that's fine.
All dressed are
delicious. But
delicious.
it does not touch ketchup chips. I'm sorry.
That's how you get them started.
There are Americans that come to Canada for ketchup chips. You cannot tell me that it's not a good thing.
I mean, up
like,
there, our money's worth a lot
more. Like
so.
Ketchup?
No, so they don't actually taste like ketchup. That's a weird thing.
It's like powdered milk.
Ew.
Canadian ketchup chips are way
Red
better.
said it. Canadian ketchup chips are better than American. Wait, you guys don't have ketchup chips, do you?
Yeah,
we have a lot of flavors of chips.
Hers HERRS. They carry a ketchup chips.
So one thing I noticed whenever I came to the States and I was like closer to our border, you guys had some. I went to Florida and they brought they were like, you mean like French fries with ketchup? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so I guess, yeah, bacon in Canada is better.
In my lifetime, I'm looking at Red's comment. I'll have to try a ketchup chip.
I'm telling you. Maybe don't try the ones that you guys have.
Try the all dressed chips.
Don't try the ones in the United States. They're not worth anything.
Try that. Ketchup chips. That's how you get. That's how you get them started.
Or say, Ellen knows, man.
Or say
Duncan's Canadian and he raves about ketchup chips.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry, Steve. We just took over.
No, it's okay. I was actually getting a little head on something because, you've got. Do you have that, or can you do that Newsweek story? Do you got that one?
Yeah, the Doordash one.
Yeah.
So there's a delivery driver in Edmonton, so that's over here in Canada, that had a very interesting drop-off experience. So he went to go deliver this order, and he's in his car, and he glances up to the house, and he sees something that he's like, what was that? It was like a dark figure that was just staring back at him, and he's like, this is either from like a horror movie or it's a mannequin or something. So when you zoom into the picture, it shows like a stand-in figure with like two bony hands and what appeared to be like, you know, the face of the plague doctor, the mask with like that really long nose. Well, that's what was staring back at him until he got out of the car and he realized, okay, it wasn't a person, it was an actual like mannequin or whatever. He didn't tell the customer, but he decided to go on Reddit and tell everybody about it. And they were either like laughing about it, they were telling him about like crazy things that they've seen whenever they've done deliveries, or they were saying like, oh, the plague doctor is back. I don't know if you guys know what the plague doctor is.
I have no idea. I'm like,
no?
oh, what?
Okay,
is
so
that like another Canadian thing?
No. Well, actually, maybe. So back in the 16th and 17th century, the plague doctor was a physician that treated people that had bubonic plague during the epidemics. And he used to wear this mask because they thought that the mask like prevented the illness from like to get into the doctor. So they would wear this mask. So it became like this really popular mask where like a lot of people would have it like at Halloween, or you know, if they have like a statue outside. House? And this person had it at their house at the window.
Why does someone have this at their house?
At the house, at the window, staring out. So like they obviously knew what they were doing.
What is wrong with
definitely
people?
Did it to like scare people, but yeah. It was pretty funny because the comments that he was getting from Reddit were hilarious.
Oh, Reddit.
Oh, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that.
Speaking of cockroaches, did you see that article this week that someone ordered? I can never pronounce it correctly. The tea that has like the bubbles in the bottom, like the beads
bubble
on
tea?
The bottom. Yes, thank you. And
I'm like the tea that has the bubbles.
I was like, that's no. I was thinking, there's no way that's.
But I said that the other right, and they're like, you're not saying it correctly, and I'm like, it's bubble tea, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so they got it delivered, and they're like, you know, switching it around, and on the bottom was like a cockroach. So they didn't know who to sue, whether to sue the restaurant or sue DoorDash.
No,
I think they should catch and sue the cockroach. Catch him, don't kill him.
Yeah,
take him into court, sue him.
But the thing that's crazy is that normally bubble tea, you don't look into it, like you just drink, like, and if you end up having like something, like.
Can you imagine like slurping and then all of a sudden it's in your mouth?
God damn it. I'm about to play the cockroach video.
Oh, please do.
Oh,
please do. Do you have it? Yes.
I actually do have it. I do have it. I would have to
real quick. There was a TikTok I was watching, and it had the guy had, you're not going to eat Burger King. He had a tapeworm. And so he ate it. It fell out of his burger and it was on his pants. He was like, why is this thing moving? It was a tapeworm.
In his burger?
In his burger, and he kept eating, which makes it even worse. Yes.
Steve, do you really have the video? We have to show it.
Yeah. When was it?
Oh God, like a year ago.
I even clipped a short part out of it. I'm just trying to figure out when it was.
That's nasty.
Was it a year ago?
Yeah, it was like a year ago.
I've got to ask, how's the maple syrup up there? I'm just kidding.
You know you can't touch our maple syrup.
Oh, it's delicious. Canada's my first favorite country. I love Canada.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was working in retail and I had to go through all these conventions, and one of them was a Canadian company who I think it was La Canadian. I think that's the name of the company, La Canadian. They did boots, like leather boots. And we went through their training, and at the training, they handed everybody maple syrup as a giveaway to go home with. So I thought it was actually pretty cool.
That's actually really cool. A lot of companies do that whenever, like, there's this one mom, she homeschools in the States, and she's like, can you send me a care package of like different Canadian items? And I'm like, okay. She's like, make sure maple syrup's in there. And I was like, oh, of course. Yes. But our maple syrup's amazing.
I mean, yeah, I looked up the reason for like the maple leaf and all that. I love Canada. That's seriously, it's a cool place.
Thank you.
Even though you
can come visit, just don't stay.
I've been to Toronto.
Roach's tapeworms. This is making American ketchup chips more and more advertising.
Okay, so I got.
So you've been to Toronto, Yos?
Yeah, I've been to Toronto and went to Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls is
gambled
nice.
in a Canadian casino. You know, I do everything. The money up
Look
there
at
is so
you.
pretty. I love the money up there. I mean, our money's worth more, so I love it. 70
There's
cents
that.
about. Wait, I work at a bank, so hold on. Let me see. Canadian exchange rate.
So this is a messed up story. So last week we talked about the people putting the cash apps in, right? Into the
Yes.
DoorDash. Wait, what is going? Why is there some weird stat up on my thing that I can't get rid of and I can't see?
When people ask you for more money to cash app them more on the tip.
There, okay, it went away. So,
What is it?
no, this is a little different. So check this out. So, this is another way that it's happening. So, a DoorDasher picked up a delivery that had to go 5 miles away from the restaurant to be delivered. They explained in order to make up for the drive, they made sure this is the customer. They made sure to tip $12. However, after an hour went by, they realized the dasher was waiting in a spot. A bit confused, they then opened the chat and realized the delivery driver had left several messages. The messages read, "Ryan, I hope that you are tipping good because I came all the way out from redacted to you." Okay. So a follow-up message reads, "How much that you tipping me before I go any farther?" I mean, this is a food hostage situation.
Pretty much.
And so the customer eventually replies stating that they're tipping $12. And the driver responded, "You should really pay me $20. Don't be cheap."
What?
Yep. So the user isn't 12 good for a tip? Why is he asking for more? And it didn't take long for people to flood the comments. This was on Reddit. The guy left a bunch of messages for him. I mean, there's a lot in here, but like, I mean, there's more people supporting him than saying this was wrong. And I'm very confused by this because, again, Pedro, we got your thing. we saw you came in here early. I don't know if you're still in here. We saw this. We're not hating on DoorDash. We're being realistic because they are the ones breaking the independent contractors rule more than anybody. But then these stories just keep adding up too. And it's like, they know ways to correct things. They know to get, I mean, they don't do it. I'm just saying they if they wanted to, they could get rid of illegals on the platform. They could desaturate markets. They could do things instead of like having you play in this game all the time that still would be enough of a game as it always has been. But like they could make it, I mean, they've made it so that part-timers, full-timers, whatever, that are single, if you're trying to single app DoorDash, I would say like almost everybody can't do with that.
No way.
I'm just being honest. I talk to people around the country all the time for Para and for the podcast, and I talk to drivers everywhere. And usually when somebody's saying my market sucks, there's another market that's saying, "Oh, I'm raging it right now." So it's just seasonal. But I'm not hearing that at all right now. Every market sucks. I mean, I see that Pedro's doing well. I'm sure that there's other people doing well. But I don't see it. I don't really know it. I do know a lot of people I talk to. A lot have quit already. I don't know if you guys know people who have quit. I'm not people who are talking about it. I already know people who have left the gig economy. I mean, they can always come back, but
I like working for myself too much to give up the gig economy right now.
Well, so some of these people are still kind of maybe doing that. They're just not doing it on apps. At least that I know a couple people who had some other projects they did, and they were making such good money on like DoorDashes and stuff. They weren't putting in as much time in this other project. Now they're putting in the time on the project because DoorDash pay is so bad.
I sent you the news article, Steve, and the videos inside the news article. I texted it to you.
What, the video with the roaches? I got it pulled up.
Oh, okay, you have it.
Yeah, you guys want to see it?
Go ahead, play it. I'm gonna have to
get ready to be grossed out.
You're not gonna ever eat there again. I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you, I haven't been to a Popeye since I saw this.
That's just anyways.
Disclaimer, guys. Disclaimer.
This is not my fault. Are you going to be able to make it through this story?
I am, because when I was reading it, I was like, I was just like, hopefully I can get through this story because it really grossed me out, I have to say. So there was, the title of the article I have today is "Cockroaches Spotted in Popeyes in Detroit by a Doordash driver Forces Them to Shut Down." So here's the basis of the story. Doordash driver goes into Popeyes for an order and sees like a cockroach infestation. They're climbing over straws. They're climbing over utensils. They're climbing over to-go orders. Like they're literally everywhere. So this is actually what kind of had me laughing a little bit. So supposedly the Doordash driver went to an employee and said, "Hey, listen, there's cockroaches there." The employee took off her shoe and started killing the cockroaches. So,
I would hope everybody in this chat and everybody on this panel knows the manager of that. You ask everybody politely to leave. You give them a coupon, something for the next visit. You get everybody out. You lock the doors and you call an exterminator and you leave the building.
But this is the thing. So the article goes to say that Doordash required her to still proceed with the delivery of the order after she said all these cockroaches were everything. I guess she notified the customer because the customer threw out the order as soon as it actually got to her. So,
I would not deliver that order. I would not. First of all, that order was not going to go in my car.
Yes.
That wouldn't make any sense.
no.
I would say, hey, listen, I'm taking a break from Doordash for the rest of whatever shift. I'm not putting that in my car. Roach infestations are serious. Like what Steve said, everyone get out and get like the most hot, professional, no spray, no raid, nothing that's going to stop it. You need a professional exterminator. I would not have delivered that order. That order would have stood on that, wherever that place, that counter or whatever.
They're just gross too. They spread disease. I mean,
I mean,
things that kill us. Things that kill us don't kill them. Like they can live in nuclear.
They'll outlive us. They will still be here.
Will survive the nukes.
Right. It's just disgusting.
Dedication to the employee for smashing them with her foot. She's like, "Oh, no problem. Let me." All right.
Well, that just shows how much of a veteran they were. They're hard boiled. They've been with those roaches. They were like, I've been waiting for somebody to ask me to do that.
I think it was they desensitized staff.
Kim, you have the video.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Okay. Let me pull that one up because I thought we had that video in there too.
I thought we did too. I thought we actually played it because I just remember being so grossed out.
This is the video. Okay. Oh God. This is so gross. Is it still sharing? No. Okay.
Oh, wait, Brian, so you had to deal with this if you used to be in the cleaning business? I couldn't.
Well, you could always quit.
There's that.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Wait, here it goes.
No,
it's probably got a bunch of pop-ups or something. Oh, come on. What's going on here? Did they remove the video or something?
Oh, it's done.
There it is.
I dig deep in the archive.
Good night, Red.
Question.
Bye,
Would
Red.
you build a website for a major brand with more than 200 million users using Wix? Well, we did.
No.
So this homeless man, I'm trying to order a 2-piece dinner for them. Well, may I speak to the manager? No, ma'am.
I don't think this is the right one.
No.
Popeyes calls cops and feeding homeless.
That's not the right one.
I can't
We've
order
dropped
for
the
this
ball.
homeless man right here who asked for.
Yeah, no, okay. It's probably meant to be, because honestly, we would have wrecked it for anybody that had not seen it. Like, there's no way you'd eat it. If you did, I'd be amazed. If you could watch this video and go to a Popeyes, I'd be amazed.
That's nasty.
I'm watching.
And again, like
Popeyes.
people are
Regular
saying,
video.
I know it goes on at other restaurants too. Again, I'm not, but I've seen it at the Popeyes now twice in videos, and it's disgusting. So, Monday is the last day to, if you were an investor in Instacart, it's the last day to get on board with their lawsuit. I don't know how familiar people are, but they are suing. They're getting sued huge. For lying to investors when they went public. They put out a bunch of false information, growth rate, what they were doing, fudged their numbers, all kinds of stuff. So let me see if I've got the disclosure here. Is Instacart had oversaturated the extent to which online grocery shopping and delivery habits among consumers were accelerating. Instacart had downplayed the extent of the competition that it faced in the online grocery shopping space. This is right before they IPO'd and they were getting people on board. This is what they put in their public statement. And it's all been proven wrong. Accordingly, Instacart oversaturated its post-IPO growth, business, and financial prospects. As a result, Instacart's public statements were materially false and misleading at all relevant times. So Instacart's common stock continues to trade below $30 per, but if you invested, I think it's $10,000 or more into Instacart, you can potentially get it all back. It's a weird class action at the cost you went in at without loss. So I just wanted to hit on that because it's again, here's another gig app, not only just doing something wrong, but literally lied to everybody when they did go public. I mean, to me, it's like, where's the SEC? Like, I mean, are they just not even reading documents anymore? Like, they're supposed to read this stuff and go, this isn't true. This isn't true. This isn't true. We're not going to let you go public.
You would think there was some kind of verification before.
Well, that's the SEC. You submit to either the Dow or the NASDAQ, and then the SEC goes through it with they're supposed to go through it so hardcore that nobody's ever gotten past it, but that's not true. And for those wondering, no matter how Minneapolis plays out, Uber Eats has said they're not leaving.
Shocker.
They'll take Uber out, but they're leaving Uber Eats.
Wow.
Because
what kind of stance is that, though?
Money,
right?
And
like if you
and tell me that the rideshare drivers, if that happened, tell me the rideshare drivers won't go to food, of which the demand won't be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Thank you, Christopher Taylor.
Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Oh wait, how'd you just watch it?
Maybe she Googled it.
Do you have it?
Googled it. She used it to Google.
You should put it in the chat or something. Because it really, I guess are we trying to wreck it for Shania or no?
I sent it to them, so they have it. I sent it to both Yost and Shana. They have it.
It's up to you.
It's up to them if they want to watch it.
Okay.
Just don't blame me if you never go to Popeyes ever again.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna film a video of me watching it, and then I'm gonna go in there.
You need to do like a reaction video for TikTok.
I was just gonna say that. I like how he does on his TikTok channel. And Yost, don't play it first. Watch it first time and do a reaction on TikTok.
In the Popeyes?
Yeah.
Do the side by side.
Do the side by side. Okay.
And don't watch it. Just upload it and then do your thing and watch it for the first time. You'll get the best reaction ever.
That's disgusting. You should do it while eating a piece of chicken.
I'm like, just with the Popeyes, I have to watch this video.
You should go do it in a Popeyes.
Let me know when you upload it.
Okay.
You should go record it in a Popeyes.
Shorts. YouTube Shorts has been really good. So TikTok is sucking lately. Shorts is where it's at. They're pushing out videos.
Well, because you guys have that ban come in, right?
Well, don't get me started. The Senate's not gonna. So our House Representatives, they're the ones, but the Senate's not. They're not really moving towards it. So they're going slow on it, which is perfect because they would lose a lot of votes if they got it banned. Like half of America's on there.
So I got one more story, but China, you had one, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I have two.
Okay.
You want me to go with mine first or you?
Yeah. I'll end with this one because I think it's pretty it's just they're bad business.
Well, mine's is Skip the Dishes over here, which is the Canadian version of Grubhub. They teamed up with it's WXN, but it's Women's Executive Network. So both stories have to do with women and have to do with International Women's Day. So Skip the Dishes teamed up with WXN to launch an award where they're recognizing and celebrating Canadian women in the food industry. So what they're doing is whether they're a chef, restaurateur, franchisee, food retailer, any type of food entrepreneur, they can put in their nomination like for this award, and then they're going to be given the Food Industry Award, the Skip the Dishes Food Industry Award. Now, the whole thing behind it is because they're saying that there's not a lot of women that are in the food industry. And usually whenever there are any awards that have some type of recognition, it's usually men that win. And a lot of women entrepreneurs, they had a lot of hardships during like the COVID season. So many different things that they went into the article. They were talking about discrimination. They were talking about the fact that they usually have smaller businesses. So when they go to get loans at the bank, they don't really qualify. So for a lot of different reasons, they wanted to, and obviously for the optics and, publicity, they wanted to create this award where they are celebrating women. And they launched it on Women's Day. And like they have until May 14th to be able to submit their nomination to win it. So I thought that was pretty cool, even though like, whatever, I get it. They're, trying to
I just
use
picture them
Women's Day.
getting like a gold dish award, like an award that has like a gold dish. Sorry, that's the only thing I was envisioning in my head.
Golden Dish Award.
That would be funny, actually. And then the second story is with Doordash this time. So Doordash is trying to do something nice, and they're obviously using the whole like International Women's Day thing as well. And what they're doing is they have a new program. Actually, it's a new platform called Made by Women. And what it does is it's going to be able to offer marketing, educational, and financial resources to women-owned restaurants. And the reason why they're doing this is because, obviously, just like with Skip, they say there's not a lot of women in the industry. They're partnering up with another company, Monday Girl, and they're going to be providing 15 $10,000 grants to Canadian women-owned restaurants. That's huge. Like, that's crazy. And they're saying that the restaurants that are already like affiliated with them can apply. And then if it's like a restaurant that's not within their network, they can still apply as well, but they're only going to be given the 15 grants. And it's really just about giving them, access to different programs or entrepreneurship programs that they might not be able to access at any point in time. So yeah, DoorDash is doing something good.
Don't give them credit yet. There will be a backhand to follow that.
It'll be a different story.
Yeah. That's the media play side. Now the other side will be that they're going to chain you to a
doing
tree
all good
on
publicity
Fridays or
because they're
something.
getting ready to roll us all out to the tier program. So like we're just gonna butter everybody up and then bam, and then
Exactly.
Or mayo them up.
And it's funny because on the DoorDash website, like they really went like deeper in, and they're like, oh, Tony Shu first got the idea of DoorDash thanks to his mother who worked in a local restaurant when she came here. Like, yeah, they're really trying to butter it up.
So actually, that's a good segue into this last piece. And then I did see Bordura sent us the video. It's only 2 minutes. I am going to play it. I'm going to wreck it for everybody. So if you don't, after this story, if you don't want to see, if you like Popeyes, you'll want to leave for the night. Just going to be honest. I don't want to lose any people, but I also don't want you wrecking. But I think you need to see it. It's gross.
Don't need a Popeye. Sorry, Yost.
Here is a.
Here it goes.
This
Convert
is just
to KFC.
This is even worse. They're genetically modified chickens.
Hey, maybe KFC did it. Maybe they planted the roaches.
They did.
Conspiracy theories.
So, okay, in where is this? In Raleigh, North Carolina, in the village of Lafayette, I guess it's near there. A guy, Peter Zhang, owns Zanyu Asian Noodles, and he stopped getting payments from Uber Eats. Now, this article is from today. From September on, I didn't see anything. So the last time we got paid was August 29th, Kang said.
Oh.
In total, that meant Kang had been stiffed for more than $20,000.
Oof.
When Kang looked into his online history with Uber Eats, he saw his restaurant fulfilled the orders each month. Still no payments came back. In December, he called Uber Eats. The company told him he needed to deal with fraud department, would take over at this point and investigate more to track down the problem. Kang waited and continued to fulfill orders, but the restaurant still never received a payment or communication. Kang's manager, Brad Shear, eventually got involved. Together, they reached out to Uber Eats repeatedly asking for a solution. As they did, the amount they were owed grew. Small business like this, every dollar, every cent counts, they said. So with no sign of their money, Kang reached out to troubleshooter Diane Wilson, who works for ABC 11 in Raleigh, North Carolina, I guess. And she got in touch with Uber Eats. Quote here was, nobody would respond back to us until you talked to them, Kang said to the lawyer, or to the lady from the news station. So here's where it gets kind of weird. So Uber Eats worked directly with Kang. It took some time, but they finally did get him the more than $20,000 he was owed. And they said, and so a representative, here's the kicker though. A representative from Uber Eats said, this is a case where they believe Kang fell for a phishing scam and that he had given out to fraudsters his account number and that they were ripping off his bank account every day. And he replied, no, that didn't happen at all. I have my bank records. What are you talking about? And this is their excuse. I mean, okay, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Really, like you thought he was getting hit for fraud, but you thought, let's keep working with him.
But why didn't they just deal with him himself? Like, it's almost like they just ignored him. So why didn't they just come out and say, hey, we're investigating it because we think it's fraud? They
did say that, then they just never contacted him again. I think they were looking at it. I think they were looking, if you heard in the story that he kept letting it go on, I think they're like, sweet, we're not going to pay this guy. And he's still dumb enough to keep doing it.
Well, obviously he's not a driver, because if it was one of us, we would be on the phone every single day until
But
we
I'm
got our money.
I'm just pointing out. I mean, look at this. Look at how they. I mean, this is how. I mean, I don't know. I grew up in a much different time when people took pride in business. This kind of crap, it was so rare. Like, there weren't stories like this every damn day. You know, like something like this, you would like be like, oh my God, and then nothing would happen for the rest of the year. Like, I mean, people were hard workers. I mean, it's just crazy to me that they're like, hey, this guy is so stupid. He just keeps working for us letting us sell his food for free. We're not even paying him.
Well,
And until he got a news channel involved, nothing happened.
It's crazy.
So with that said, what's up, UDM? With that said, don't go anywhere, UDM, because I know when I had you on and we talked about fruit flies, you loved that. For some reason, fruit flies really bothered UDM.
Before you view this, Yost, you should like screen record right now, so you actually have a true
well,
reaction to the video.
Streaming to his channel.
Oh, okay, then there you go. We have a recording.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, this is no joke. This is the part I would say if you love Popeye's chicken, don't watch this. It's 2 minutes long, and then we'll sign off. But I think everybody should watch this. That's just my 2 cents. But you do what you want. If you got a strong stomach and you can take this, or if you don't like Popeyes anyway, like, absolutely watch it.
A Popeyes restaurant in Detroit is temporarily shut down tonight after an eye-popping discovery. Take a good look.
I thought you're a Detroit fan. I'm just kidding.
Captured it when she spotted roaches.
Oh, no.
7 Action News reporter Whitney Burney.
This is just wrong.
Who blew the whistle?
Is there?
The doors are locked here at this Popeyes on. There's now a sign on the door that reads "Closed for maintenance." We've seen crews inside cleaning throughout the afternoon.
I am in Popeyes, y'all. Look, Popeyes on warning counters. Like, they got roaches, y'all.
It's a video that could make even
and I know it's
the
just one.
toughest of
But you gotta remember, this
turn.
lady took her shoe off and was pounding them. She thought that was the answer.
Roaches crawling all over.
Oh my gosh!
On the east side of Detroit.
It was just like all over the counter, all over the utensils, and all over the
Oh
bag.
my gosh. The DoorDash driver behind the video, now viewed by thousands, didn't want to be identified.
Welcome
but
to
says
Detroit, everybody.
in her 2+ years of delivering food, she hasn't seen anything like this. The driver says she alerted the DoorDash customer supposed to receive that order immediately.
I was definitely surprised.
Maybe we had a
I was caught off
longer video.
guard.
I remember
was
them
shocked.
being on the ceiling.
I was disgusted.
the floor.
I just couldn't believe that they were even
It was that other
open
Popeyes.
and working in those conditions.
The city health department says they received word about the video late last week and sent an inspector in on Monday who did find evidence of cockroaches. The health department says
did you read that? The restaurant will remain closed until the manager
as soon as
agrees to
they
fix
learned
it.
of the
Like,
video.
why
the health
isn't it-
department says
again,
this
I'm gonna
Popeyes
revamp what
location
I
is
said.
inspected
This thing
routinely
should just
every
be
6
burnt to the
months,
ground.
and there's no knowledge of prior issues. In a tweet
I see the
response,
whole
Popeyes
family.
called the conditions, quote, completely unacceptable, and said the restaurant will remain closed until it can provide guests with the standards and service they deserve.
If it
And
wasn't for
UDM,
me,
if you
somebody
came in
this
late,
business would
and
still be
anybody else that
open,
might
they
have
would
came
still
in
be
late, I
running
gotta tell
today.
you,
The DoorDasher
So
who
the
sounded the alarm now
DoorDasher
happy something is
was
being
told
done.
by
I feel bad for the
DoorDash they
staff
still had to
because
deliver
it's
the food
holiday
even after
moments,
they
and I know
called
they
and
probably
said
need their
there's
income.
cockroaches everywhere.
But
in
at the
here.
same time,
And they were like, well,
I
you
don't
need
want
to
them working
finish
in
the
those
delivery.
conditions because that's awful.
On the east
Really?
side, Whitney Burney, 7 Action News.
Thank goodness she blew the whistle. That's a major
Come on,
roach
man.
problem.
That's disgusting.
Never eating at Popeyes again.
I mean, I'm still gonna go, but still, that's just horrible.
That's disgusting, especially with the chicken because it has the holes on the side of the box. So you know,
Oh,
there's chicken water.
So
You think they're for air vents, they're for something else.
I know there's a worse video. I'm gonna find it. Not
You're gonna
tonight, but-
find it and just you're gonna send it to me. Steve texts me all late at night my time, and I'm like,
Yeah, like 2
you're
in the
gonna
morning.
send it. I'm like, I'll watch it in the morning.
That's nasty. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so again, when Yost was again coming full circle, like we did with the teachers last week, Yost was talking about how dirty cars are. Well, the car doesn't matter if that's where you're getting food from.
It's
just
true.
it could just
double
add
done.
to the ambiance of the
I mean, can you
cars.
imagine the person who's like, God, your car's gross. And the guy's like, dude, you should see your food.
Exactly.
It's like, here's a surprise for you.
So the fun just never ends. I mean, it's not just the gig apps, it's just people. And the last thing I will put out there to you guys is that, remember when California upped all fast food workers to $20 an hour not too long ago? Mm-hmm. That's the minimum wage for any fast food chain in the state now. They opened up their first no-person fast food restaurant.
I saw that.
All automated, no people, nothing.
Was it bots, like robots type of thing?
Yeah, but it's like an assembly line. It can put together a burger in like 30 seconds. Anything you want, the exact way you want it. No people are involved. So yeah, they raised it to $20, but they're already starting the move to get rid of people out of fast food.
It's crazy.
So. Side note, I saw, and it has nothing to do with that, but has to do with the robots. I saw a clip today where there was a school, like an Ivy League school, that one class, they have no teacher. The children are with AI, and it personalizes the teaching style based on each child. So they each have like this computer, laptop, whatever, and that's how they're learning. And they feel like they're learning more because it's personalized to the way that they learn and the speed that they learn. Yeah, it's insane.
You know, I feel like I'm in a never-ending episode of Black Mirror.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just feel like there's no way this is really happening these days. Like everywhere I turn, it's like, what? I just keep waiting for like some horrible ending.
It's crazy.
Because it's just gross. I mean, and it's just people are lazy, people are mean, humanity's changed.
It really has.
No humanity.
Yeah, or
it's
if
actually
there
really
is
sad.
humanity. So, but yeah, guys, that said, I'm burnt. I know we're all. Everybody has seen Black Mirror. I'm assuming. If you haven't, by the way, go watch Black Mirrors. They're great. I saw them all during the pandemic, so I'm sure most people did, but they are really out there. And they're really good too. They're really well done, but they're really twisted. But thank you, Yost. Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And hit that like if you didn't on all of our channels. Go to all 4 and hit like.
Thank you.
Do the swarm.
Red and Ellen did that. They were like, shoot. I saw them in like different chats. I have all 4 like opened up.
Good night, everybody. Be safe, earn smart, and even though humanity's dead, according to Kim, who believes in kindness is always free, be nice to people.